It's a warm summer night in 1985, and the city of Karachi is alive with its usual hum. The distant calls of street vendors echo through the narrow alleys, and the faint scent of freshly baked naan drifts through the air. Families are winding down after a long day, children tucked into their beds, while the elders share quiet conversations over steaming cups of chai. Everything feels normal, safe even, but not for long. In one of the quiet neighborhoods, a man drifts into a deep sleep under the open sky on the traditionally woven charpoy bed he's placed outside to escape the heat of his small home. He has no idea that someone is watching him from the shadows. The figure moves with eerie precision, clutching something heavy in their hand. It's a hammer. Minutes later, the silence of the night is broken by muffled sounds of a struggle, and then nothing. No sound at all. When dawn breaks, the horrifying truth is revealed. The man is found lifeless, and the weapon of choice is unmistakably clear. It's one of the first known attacks by what would come to be called the Hathora Group. The English translation would be the Hammer Group, a name that, even now, decades later, sends shivers down the spines of those who lived in Karachi and Hyderabad during those dark and terrifying nights. And so the stage was set for a city gripped by fear. Those nights in Karachi and Hyderabad were like the calm before a storm, uneasy and heavy with an unspoken tension that settled into every dark corner. The cities became the backdrop for an unfolding terror, a chilling tale that would haunt their streets and linger in the memories of those who lived through it. So here's what we know. The Hathora Group, even just saying their name makes my stomach twist all up. But they emerged out of nowhere in the mid-1980s. They were targeting the unsuspecting cities of Karachi and Hyderabad. And now, before I go any further, let me just clarify. While Hyderabad is a widely recognized city in India, there's also a Hyderabad in Pakistan, and that's the one we're talking about today. It's located in the southern Sindh province near the Indus River. And during this time of fear and uncertainty, life in these cities carried a somewhat strange rhythm. The days were bustling, full of energy and the usual chaos of urban life. Markets alive with chatter, children playing cricket in every available nook, and tea stalls overflowing with laughter and conversations. But at night, an uneasy stillness would settle. Streets emptied, shutters closed earlier than usual, and people huddled indoors, hoping to outlast the fear that gripped their lives. Even the comforting glow of streetlights seemed a bit dimmer, as if the cities themselves were holding their breath, waiting for something dreadful to happen. And then, bam! Like something straight out of a nightmare, the Hathora Group descended. And their weapon of choice? Well, not a gun, and not a knife, but a hammer. Isn't there something deeply sinister about that? A hammer is just so savage. It's so personal. I mean, it's not designed for harm, which is what makes it all the more terrifying. A tool that sits innocently in your home until it's wielded as an instrument of dread. They didn't need elaborate weapons to send entire cities spiraling into fear. They took something mundane, something ordinary, and turned it into a symbol of pure hate. I want you to understand that before the attacks, these two cities were known for their liveliness and vibrancy. There was a real pulse to the cities and a rhythm that never truly stopped, no matter the hour. I mean, even in the middle of the night, you could hear vendors calling out in the bazaars, rickshaws honking, and laughter echoing from gatherings. But seemingly overnight, it all transitioned. The streets fell silent and eerily still. People would double lock their doors and windows, and they would whisper and pray and hope that tonight isn't the night. The attacks were horrifyingly random. I mean, the victims ranged from laborers sleeping on sidewalks to entire families in their own homes. No wealth, no power, no vendettas, just indiscriminate brutality. The unpredictability made it even worse. Imagine the psychological toll. Parents stayed awake guarding their children. Homes, which were once sanctuaries, became cages where fear thrived. The cities became the backdrop for a nightmare, heavy with unspoken tension as people prayed they weren't next. Reports of the attacks spread like wildfire. The media dubbed them the Hathora Group or the Hammer Group, and their name alone became synonymous with terror. Every headline described their grim handiwork, leaving behind more questions than answers. Who were they? Why were they doing this? Was it some twisted revenge? A gang initiation? Political chaos, maybe? Or simply the work of a deranged mind? Theories swirled, but none ever stuck. Oh, and the theories? Yeah, they ran wild. Some believed it was a rogue group within an extremist faction, weaponizing fear to destabilize the region. Others thought it was a ritualistic violence, some dark rite of initiation type thing. And there were also whispers of shadowy authorities orchestrating the attacks to control the population. And then came the truly eerie explanations. What if they weren't even human? A manifestation of something supernatural, stalking the streets under the cloak of night. But despite the public outcry, the authorities were powerless. I mean, checkpoints were set up, patrols increased, citizens were told to stay vigilant, yet the Hathora Group was always one step ahead. Like ghosts, they struck without warning and vanished before anyone could catch a glimpse. There were stories of shadowy figures slipping into narrow alleys or scaling rooftops. And others believed that the attackers used disguises to blend into the crowd, hiding in plain sight. And then, as quickly as the terror began, it just stopped. Just like that. One day, the cities were held hostage by fear, and the next, the Hathora Group was gone. No arrests, no confessions, no answers. Their sudden disappearance made the story even more haunting. They didn't just fade away, they slipped into the realm of urban legend. In the years that followed, the Hathora Group became a grim chapter in Pakistan's history. Parents told their children tales of the hammer-wielding ghosts just to keep them home after dark. Over time, the hammer itself became a symbol of fear, stripped of its practical innocence. But the story remains maddeningly incomplete. No faces, no motives, just the lingering echoes of what they left behind. And isn't that the scariest part of it all? The unknown? We're left with fragments, a series of brutal attacks, a city paralyzed by fear, and a group that disappeared like smoke. No motive, no identity, nothing. Just silence where the answers should be. But you know what's not a mystery? My Mehndi project for the night. Completely finished. Well, thank you for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.